1337 subscribers, amazing. I've actually got 1404 as of making this video, so thank you to everyone subscribing. Did not expect this channel to grow so quickly. Just wanted to make this video to quickly explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. At first I was just trying to find a mouse that I liked, so a lot of the reviews were very much geared to what I wanted. But now that I have so many people asking me questions and telling me what they want in a mouse, I'm going to expand my reviews to include a whole range of player type, grip style, and pretty much anything you guys tell me, I'm going to try to put in these reviews so it helps you out. So the new goal is to try to find the best mouse for everyone. That doesn't mean one mouse, that means many. Because you're never going to get a perfect mouse. This is all about trying to find the mouse that suits you and your needs. So I'm going to do my best to try to get all the tests exactly right, so I can tell you what each mouse is good for and what is bad for, and then you can make your decision from there. So keep on leaving those comments, it's going to help me help you guys later. I did take a break from the channel, but I'm now back working on a lot of aspects of it, so you can expect a lot more content in the next few weeks. And yes, that also means that the Myonix car store is coming, so be patient, I'll get a review of that ASAP. And by the way, the Amazon affiliate links in the description on each video, those will actually give me a percentage of the sale, and I get paid in gift cards with Amazon. That means that all the money that I make from that is going to go on new products, and that also means that I can start to actually get mice that aren't available in Australia. So that's another way you can help me help you guys. And I might try to get a voting system happening, so you guys can tell me which products you want me to review next. And on that note, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, but also jump on the Facebook and Twitter pages, because there I can post more updates of things I'm learning about the mice, and that way you can stay up to date with what we're talking about, what we're finding, and which mouse is good or bad at that stage. Anyway, we'll call this a year review. I used it for a solid 9 months, and I'm still getting a lot of questions about it, so I wanted to run through it with the new review format, so you guys can get a real understanding of whether this mouse is good or bad for you. But overall, just quickly, it is a really good budget mouse. The biggest problem I'm hearing is the shape. It's got a diamond structure, so basically you've got these protruding sides, and that is actually uncomfortable for some people. For me though, my little finger and thumb fit right on there, and there's plenty of room down the sides where I can place my ring finger. So for me, in a palm grip even, it feels good. The mouse is actually made for claw and fingertip grip, but of course it's going to depend on your hand size too. That's what it looks like in claw, fingertip, and my version of palm. It's kind of like the fingers just sort of relaxing on there. It's not completely comfortable, but it's still a good mouse and one of my favorites. As far as materials go, it's all just plastic. There's slight texture to it, but nothing too fancy. There are little grooves in the buttons, just enough to be comfortable. You have the DPI switch on top. Thin side buttons, but I find they're quite good, although others have complained about them. And personally, I don't really like the scroll wheel. It's quite loud. However, a lot of people have pointed out in CSGO you need a mouse wheel like this. It's got that tactile feedback, and you can use it for jumping and switching weapons. The clicks are some of the best you'll find, very tactile, easy to press in. Although I have found that I've accidentally clicked these buttons in a few times. Usually the right one. Just by resting my finger there, it'll accidentally click in. Extra button test. The scroll wheel is quite hard to press in, but it seems like a good click. Rapid fire on the top. One issue I've found with this is the build quality. Rattles when you tap it. And there's something slightly rattling in there. I hope it's not the sensor like the G302, but overall it's not too bad. The cable is definitely something complained about. It's a bit of a stiff rubber, and you can see that I've had to loop it, and the way that I do that is just by twisting the mouse around. So you can see that's straight. Just push in, twist the mouse around, and you should get a loop like that eventually. That loop can hit things when you're flicking the mouse around, but overall I find I can get away with this. But a lot of people have complained about that feature. Unlike the G303, you only have 4 mouse feet, 1 up front, 1 at the back, and 2 around the sensor. And that means that this is actually going to rock. That hasn't been a problem for me in game or in general use, but other people have complained about it, so you just have to be aware of that. Now the mouse is about 11.5 centimeters long, but that's not the most important measurement on these things. It seems to be the grip width, and that's not the actual width of the mouse, it's where your fingers are, because that's where it's going to feel like it's a wide or thin mouse. So where my fingers go on this, it's actually about 5.5 centimeters, which seems to be the best width for a mouse for me with an 18.5 centimeter hand. And that's the next thing. What I want to start doing is measure from the thumb across the little finger, and you can see it's roughly 9 centimeters. So if we can start getting the width, so we actually know how wide your hand's going to be on the mouse, we can start recommending mice more suited to your hand shape. So I'd put this mouse in the small range. With a bit of a cable, it's 90 grams, so it's quite light. Now I'll just do some sensor testing. This is a rocket jump test, where I check to see if I can actually rocket jump around. I've got a camera right in the way of the screen, because I'm just doing this quickly. And the answer is yeah, I can rocket jump quite easily with this mouse. And that led me to say that I couldn't make it spin out. But I've since been told to actually try it at a really fast rate, and yes, it can spin out. Ready? Boom, straight up. So that's no good. However, to actually get that speed, I really have to throw my hand. And like I do a fast rocket jump, see that? It doesn't spin out. So it's only when I really try to make it spin out that it does. And for the low sensitivity players, I've just put the mouse on 400 DPI and sensitivity 2. So this is way too slow for me. I can't even do the 180. But I'll try to rocket jump with it. Just see. Wow. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, here we go. So even with low sensitivity, yeah, it's just too hard to actually rocket jump like this quickly anyway. But even at 400 DPI, you can see like the mouse is mostly tracking fine. It's only when I really throw it, there you go, straight up, that is actually causing a problem. As for precision movements, so for the snipers out there, this is at 3200 DPI, and you can see that it's tracking all the movements that I do, and it's quite smooth. Now at 400 DPI, same test. Now many of you who have watched my previous reviews will know that I don't really like lower DPI because it seems a lot jerkier than higher. But this sensor's performing, as you'd expect, quite well. I can't see a problem with this at all. Just an acceleration test. Spot on. Perfect. There is no acceleration or deceleration on this mouse. Just tested the liftoff distance, and it's only about 1.4 to 2 millimeters. As for aim, because this is a small mouse, this really suits me, so I find that I can aim extremely well with this design. G302 and G303, I can't really tell the difference in game. They're both great to play on. So sniper weapons, tracking weapons, projectiles, all good. Love using this mouse in game. Now we'll try something different for the jitter test, because we want to see if there's any skipping as well. So we just draw some lines. I'll try to do fairly straight here. That's looking good. I'll just cruise it around, go quickly. And that's all looking fine to me. There's no angle snapping, there's no jitter, and there's no skipping. And lastly, this does feel like a very snappy sensor. There's really no delay there at all. And the buttons, also very little delay if any. They're some of the fastest I've ever used. Now in the software you can set 5 different DPI stages, or 1, 2, 3 or 4. They start at 240 and go up in increments of 80, and the most you can have is 4000. You can edit what the buttons do, and you have these options. Pause if you want to see them. You can have the keystrokes, and of course the record macro. There aren't too many lighting options. You have the breathing effect logo inside, so I've just turned that off. I'd rather have the brightness on max the whole way through. And no, this is not an RGB mouse, so it is just blue. So in conclusion, this is a great little mouse. Very good if you can get it cheaply. And it should suit a lot of people, but again, that diamond shape does put others off. So it's a great mouse if you can like the shape. And now after using all these other mice, I think I do prefer the build quality of others. But as you can see, this mouse is still in very good condition even after 9 months solid use. So despite the materials not being amazing, they do seem to last. The mouse was designed for MOBA games, but I use it in first-person shooters. As usual, no mouse is perfect. It does have the issues of the cable, the slight rocking, and the sensor spin out if you want to call that an issue. And of course, these edges don't suit all people. But for what it is, it's a great mouse, still one of my favorites to use, so I highly recommend checking this out. I was even using this mouse to great effect in competition games. So this is one of those mice that I'm comfortable recommending for the highly competitive player. And until they fix the sensor rattle on the G303, this is going to be the choice. So that's it for the G302 Revisited. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And of course, subscribe and like, and I'll catch you in the next video.